It's PJ.
Don't you wish you had them relationships?
I do, just not with PJ Tucker.
Whatever.
I do want to get to this Hawks conversation, though, because GM's Travis Schlenk said today that they have, in fact, removed the interim tag from Nate McMillan's title, making him Atlanta's new head coach. Woj reporting it's a 4-year deal coming on the heels of Atlanta's impressive second-half surge and deep playoff run. Take a look at the numbers before and after Nate McMillan took over. So now they've got their coach back, and you heard Trey say he thinks that the Hawks will be back. We heard him after the game. He's saying he thinks they're going back to the Eastern Conference Finals, could get to the finals. Perk, what is your reaction first? Let's talk about Atlanta committing to Nate.
Well, the Indiana Pacers are rolling over in their grave. But look, the Hawks should be committed to Nate McMillan. He's a hell of a coach. What we saw him do towards the end of the season, have all those guys buy in, young guys at that. Trae Young started taking less shot attempts and getting others involved. You watch John Collins elevate his game and play within the system. Cam Reddish, those guys that came in, Herter, all those guys played together, and you can tell when the team is well coached by the way they play on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, no, and this was the right move. I think this was the obvious move. I think Nate McMillan did a good job of, hey, I'm not going to sign this contract till it's over, because there was a lot of teams that would have that had an interest in him. But I'm going to say this to Trae Young, and I think Perk will agree with this. If you want to get back to the Eastern Conference, then you have to be better than you were this year. You have to keep improving. All of your guys have to get back into the lab and bring something new to their game. You have to add something to your game. I believe you guys can win a championship. I believe you guys can get back to the Eastern Conference. But if you go there with the same type of effort, the same type of mentality, their teams are coming.
Well, all right, we're here at NBA Finals Media Day. These gentlemen were just, I think, bragging about your numerous finals appearances.
Yeah, not a record in finals. Me and Perk are combined 2 for 9 in the finals.
But you got here. What do you guys remember from media days? Because especially for the younger guys like Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, who've never been through it before, it's a gauntlet, right?
Yeah, it's just not the media day; it's the finals, right? You have to have that fine line of balancing the two and saying, I want to embrace the finals, embrace the moment, but I'm still here to actually win the basketball games.
Yeah.
Because so much of media attention.
Well, and once you get there, you see that it's different. You're like, this is different. This isn't a normal, there's like a whole setup. But the craziest thing for me is we played the Lakers first.
Right.
Now, Laker Media Day, and then the next year we played San Antonio. And I was like, wait where'd everyone go? This is it? So that was what I remember from back-to-back years.
Right, man.
It's the truth. Laker Media Day is different.
The Jump, Rachel Nichols, joined by Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins, who's bothered to wear a tie today. Thank you, Kendrick. I appreciate that.
I mean, some of us, we're just professional.
Richard's had a little problem with his clothes the last 24 hours, so don't be surprised if you see him in this same outfit tomorrow.
I got nothing to say.
The first time. Let's discuss Luka Doncic, Team Slovenia securing an Olympic berth. It's the first time ever. It happened over the weekend. Doncic posted 31 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists in his win over Lithuania. Here is Luka after the game discussing the importance of winning a gold medal for his country. Take a listen.
Luka, what would mean more to you? A gold medal with the Team Slovenia or NBA championship with the men?
I would say gold medal with Slovenia. You play for your country, and that's something that really. But I wouldn't mind both.
They would take him out of the boxing.
Richard?
I 100% agree, with Luka. It is more important. Like here in the U.S., we are taught, like just culturally, state championship, national championship, and NBA championship. The gold medal is something that's like kind of out of like a kid's basketball dream, where for Luka in a much smaller country in European basketball, like that would mean a whole different thing for him. So like I'm not going to disrespect like his feelings towards representing his country.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, you can see the joy just not only in his face, but in his teammates' face. Like, it's a family, right? Mm-hmm. And this is his country. Obviously, he's probably running the country right now, right? I mean, he's so iconic. But at the end of the day, I still need that same energy when he come back to the United States with the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, I mean,
I'm not saying that it's
no. I think it's, look, I get the reporter's question. International athletes have been asked that over and over, in part because in those countries there is such a high emphasis played on playing for your national team. There doesn't only have to be one, right? It doesn't have to be this is more important than this. They could both just be really important to him. When you watch Luka Doncic out on the floor, I have never once watched him play a game and think, oh, he doesn't really care.
Right.
No. He cares about winning an NBA title. He's talked about it over and over, and he really cares about this. And I think that's exciting for basketball fans that he gives that same energy to both. Devin Booker has been at the podium, so we want to check in on him. And he's talking a little bit about what the importance is to the city of Phoenix of having these Suns in the NBA Finals. Take a listen.
I mean, I think it's the baby here. It's the only professional team that has Phoenix in it. Every other team's Arizona, so Phoenix Suns is the baby franchise here, and they love it with a passion. And I'm wearing the shirt from '93 right now. I think it started around that time to when they developed that. You hear people talk about, I remember when I watched Charles and them. Like, you hear those stories at all times, and seeing the passion in their eyes when they're telling the stories, and even being at the bottom of the barrel for the past 5 years and them still showing up and showing love, shows that same type of love that they have for this team.
That's pretty cool. And Richard, part of what you talked about when we were here for the Western Conference Finals is you grew up in Arizona. Mm-hmm. You went to the University of Arizona. We're going to go visit later today. Your high school, right?
Are you excited about that, Perk?
I am.
Well, this is what I want to say.
You can speak to this.
Let me echo everything that he said. In 1993, I was 13 years old, and I was watching that team, and I would go out to the park, and I would do all of those things that you would see Kevin Johnson and Charles Barkley and Dan Marley. I would try and do. At that point in time, I was probably still more athletic than some of them. But like when you talk about the connection to the town, like my son, my youngest son is named Phoenix, right? So it's like there is a serious connection to this town, to this team. And so it makes it even more special. And I'm so glad that Devin Booker has been a part of this journey from bad to the mountaintop. And if they can get over that mountaintop, this is a great place to be a champion.
Well, you know what? I'm just proud of Devin Booker, right? And you just spoke the gospel for once, but I'm proud of Devin Booker for just sticking with it. He's never come out publicly and asked for a trade. And there's been a lot of downtimes throughout his short career, right? His short NBA career. And I think, the way he stuck with it, the way he just kept grinding and not cheating the process was what I respect about him. And he's a guy that's going to continue to get better. He gets better every single year. He's one of the most prolific scorers in the game today. I'm a guy that's big on efficiency. And when you look at Devin Booker from a two-guard aspect, I mean, the way that he scores the ball and he's scoring at a clip of 48 or 50% from the field is fun to watch. But his maturity level, again, watching him lead, watching him speak at the podium, how his growth at a young age is something beautiful to see.
And it's interesting because in the NBA, the feeling has always been you don't get to the NBA Finals on your first time through that gauntlet of the playoffs if you're one of the key players. And even as a franchise, right? I mean, we talked with Michael Jordan. Everyone saw in The Last Dance that feeling of the Bulls had to get past the Detroit Pistons. And it took a few reps at it. With you guys, Perk, there was definitely the feeling that LeBron James had to get past that Celtics dynasty and that loss that he had to you guys where we all saw him walk off the floor and take his jersey off, right, before he ended up going to Miami. The feeling is your first time through, you don't get all the way to the mountaintop. Well, guess what? These guys got to the mountaintop, and Devin Booker has showed such poise through that whole process, and it's what his coach, Monty Williams, preaches, but to see him be able to do that has been so impressive. All right, coming up, guys, we're going to get into the Bucks side of things. We're going to discuss Giannis's